Let's see what the front pages are saying this morning, Jeffrey.
Absolutely. So let's get to the Nigerian Tribune. Perhaps that's where we get started from, the big one there. Plateau killings, enough is enough, Ribadu warns. Nigeria going through tough, difficult times. It says, Moftang, which is the governor, vows to prosecute perpetrators. ACF, that's our Consultative Forum, urges government to restore peace. LND demands radical security action. I think the issue of Plateau, I can't just but agree with the NSA that just enough is enough. I just remembered I said at the beginning that December the 25th or 24th of December 2023, we saw that carnage happen on the Plateau. And some of us were quite not happy that some of this carnage had happened and the president didn't visit, and he hasn't visited till today, as far as that issue is concerned. And I don't know why. But this is just too much. Let's remember that people are being killed here. It's not animals, it's not anything. Human beings are being killed. So whatever has to be done, in the words of the NSA, to restore peace, if it's communal clash, if it's ancestral issue, is land, herder, farmer, whatever it is, I think they need to sit down to quiet and brutal honesty and say, you want to annihilate us, you want land cleansing, or you are destroying our business, or whatever it is. Let them speak frankly. Let the people involved speak frankly to themselves, if those are the allegations, and then look for a way forward. There has to be a way for people to coexist, and that has to be done like yesterday, so that people are not just killed carelessly. It's very sad.
It is sad, Jeffrey. You see that places where you have war is actually it's a potential for development, and I will explain what I mean. I think if you go to places that have experienced war and you see what they've been able to make of it afterwards, they begin to see that, wait a minute, so all of this was still possible while people chose to fight, while people chose to kill themselves. You see the kind of development that these places have been able to achieve just barely decades after, they experienced.
Rwanda is a classic example.
Exactly. So while we understand that there will be differences, naturally, even if you're staying in a house with someone, you naturally have differences. And that's why we have structures in place to ensure that there is law and order, to ensure that there are repercussions, there are consequences for unlawful acts. We must also see that there is a bigger potential for greatness. Jeffrey, I mean, look at the potential for agriculture in Plateau State, the potential for tourism in Plateau State.
Tourism especially. The weather, if you feel too hot where you are, you can just go to Plateau. When I was way younger, my father used to talk about Jos a lot. So that's the image. But now, it's a different tale altogether.
Well, we're big on that issue. We're speaking to all of the stakeholders to ensure that justice is served, and yes, enough is enough, as the Nigerian Tribune put it. But let's take a look at some other front pages this morning, and Blueprint follows with that Plateau killing story as well. ACF, as the Iowa Consultative Forum, urges state of security emergency in vulnerable communities. NEMA says 52 killed, 1,820 displaced. Can AYCF want end to carnage? And of course, a statement by the NSA, Ribadu, this is reflected, but from a different angle, Jeffrey. It says security improved by 90%.
Is it in Plateau or across the country?
Very good question. Very, very good question. So find more details on the inside pages of the Blueprint. But for those people on the Plateau, they'll tell you, well, we don't feel it, we don't see it, because there are 52 bodies to that effect. Jeff.
Let's go to the Nigerian News Direct, which has a different headline this time. Osun LG councils remain moribund as APC Adeleke in war of words. Osun APC accuses Governor Adeleke of plotting judicial manipulation, inciting violence. No room for violence, just rule of law, Governor Adeleke. So this has been the situation where we have two sets of council chairmen claiming the throne this time. On one hand, the APC group that got the court judgment, saying that the court has restored them, and also the PDP saying election has actually taken place and that has been overtaken by event. I've never, since this 2023 presidential general election, the level of chaos, political chaos, is just not, I don't know, it's very disturbing. from internal political crisis to having difference of tools. Under this administration, we have 2 deputy governors, we've had 2 speakers, we have 2 emirs, we have 2 sets of local government chairmen. What exactly is going on with tools under the leadership of this particular?
Did you mention state assemblies as well?
Yeah, I did, state assembly. So are they complete now? So let's start again. 2 state assembly, 2 speakers, 2 emirs, 2 LG, 2 deputy governors. Come on. What exactly is going on?
I'll tell you this, Jeffrey. At some point, we had 2 heads of agencies, federal government agencies.
Yes.
Laying claims to the same office. Right here. In fact,
this game of tools. It's very just. And then, you know, we can now go into the political parties.
Yeah.
Just that one, we don't really have 2 chairmen in that sense. But you can see disagreement and factions, not really division in that sense.
We had 2 people laying claims to executive positions in parties. It's just...
It's just shameful.
Yeah.
It just disgraceful.
That is a word. Take a look at the Abuja Inquirer. And Jeffrey, the Abuja Inquirer follows a story that has been in the making for over, I think, for weeks now, over 50 days. I recall that the former DG of the NYSC, Brigadier General Muarazu Siga, was abducted months ago. And it looked like that story went cold, but no, it didn't. And I remember asking, the military heads about that story on the program some weeks ago. So you see, the exclusive, perhaps, from the Abuja Inquirer, how military generals paid ransom to secure Siga's release, because the NSA had handed him over, as well as other, victims of kidnapping or abduction. But this speaks to how they probably paid ransom for his release, and you find that on the inside pages of the Abuja Inquirer. It's a story that leaves a very bad taste in the mouth, really. Military generals paying ransom
I just
to
can't
secure the release of a brigadier general.
I'm trying to process it. It's just difficult to process.
It is.
I don't know. It's just difficult to process.
It is.
I think we'll just leave it at that. All right. So you can see it. The Guardian is the last paper we'll look at today. 1 fiscal year, 2 budget spy governance concerns in Rivers.
So 2 budgets. We mentioned 2
we
budgets.
forgot the 2 budget part. Oh my goodness. 1 fiscal year, 2 budgets. So we understand that some contracts were recalled. Is it revoked? I've forgotten the exact term used now by the solar administrator. It's difficult for me to use that term because I see it as an unconstitutional role. But that's what it is. I've not been comfortable with that, but that's what we have. The solar administrator is preparing a new budget because remember the Supreme Court has said you can't do anything, you can't appropriate anything without a budget.
Yeah.
And since the governor was not able to present the budget, so the solar administrator will now present the budget to the National Assembly. Yes, his National Assembly will present it to.
But didn't the statement said he's not to make any laws while he's in power? So appropriation is actually a law.
Yeah, yes, that's part of the reference that was given. That's why he's reverting to the National Assembly. National Assembly will do that. Yeah, so perhaps it's the reason. Maybe the lawyers will be able to explain. But it's not supposed to make any. It's supposed to revert to the Federal Executive Council.
Yeah.
But in the amendment of the gazetted document sent to the National Assembly, they changed it that no, according to Section 11, that's not possible. Everything that has to do with laws, regulation, whatever it is, you have to revert to us. That is what the law says, and they amended it to that effect. So now we have, we should be expecting, this is what, April?
Yeah.
We should be expecting an appropriation bill to that effect. The last one presented to the 3-member House was a 1.1 trillion. We don't know how much this is going to be. Perhaps it's going to just sustain it and send it to the National Assembly who will appropriate it. But it's very disgraceful what's going on in Rivers State. It's very shameful. It's very painful. And I'm not even seeing the parties. There was supposed to be a committee that was set up, made of eminent persons Saturday, to resolve the internal issues. Rather than see that, we're seeing spikes yet again inside. It feels to me like certain people don't even want this trouble to end as it lasts. I don't know who they are. You can choose to decide who you think is the set of people that don't want this thing to end. That I have, as a person, using the word solar administrator and recognizing it, it's been difficult for me as a Democrat. It's hard. But that's what we have. the Supreme Court has to make that decision. And I have my position, but the law will take its course.
Certainly, and we do hope that law takes its course. But we'll take a quick break now while we digest some of these big stories. And when we return, we're starting off with the situation on the Plateau. What exactly is going on? If the NSA says enough is enough, how do we achieve that enough is enough and ensure that there are no killings again on the Plateau? That's the moment. Please stay with us.